All right, hello everybody. My name is Mohammed. I'm one of the SIG K8s-Infra leads. Today is Wednesday, 13th of August, 2025. We're holding our bi-weekly meeting. All right, so we've got a couple of items we talk about every week. So if you haven't been to one of these before, we kind of look through our billing, look at previous AIs, share updates. And then we have open items, open discussion. So usually community members bring items to us that they want help with. We have one item like that. There's an item of mine I want to discuss after that item. So I'm going to open the Cloud Console and start from there. Where are we? Just give me a second. I'm waiting for this to load. So our billings, so if I go to our reports here, and I deactivate virtual credits, our billing figures are looking good. If I go to the last 30 days, our cloud usage hasn't spiked. Everything's within nominal range. So our bills in Google Cloud look correct. Yeah. We're on track. If I go to year to date, so far we spent about just under half of. So far we spent about 1.2 million, and our credits from Google is 3 million. So we're on track to get to 2 million by the end of the year, with 1 million to spare. If I go here, so a project that we're working on with Datadog is visualizing our billing across multiple vendors. So AWS is configured correctly here. So if I go here and look at my AWS bill, the last 3 months, the numbers are expected within our ranges. We've had spikes in a couple items, but other than that, the numbers are looking nominal. We can also see, I had a conversation with them about how to view the Google billing, and we're able to see the Google usage here as well. So that's that. Any questions?
Yeah, I guess we can talk about this later, but I just noticed that the Google billing is not matching the GCP
Oh, I
console
know, I know,
data.
I know. I'm aware of that. So if I go here, it's a known issue. So I need to view the GCP bill here, and I need to activate something here. So yeah, the numbers are correct. There's still that main view there is not working. We had a conversation with them to look into fixing that. But compared to last 30 days before this period, the difference is 4%. So the numbers are looking correct. Um, we are going to be we're intending on generating public dashboards. So eventually everybody will be publishing URLs that everybody can go to and take a look at these figures. For all the services that we use. Similar to the dashboards that we used to have, um, and see the usage in Google Cloud and in AWS and any other vendors that we have in the future. So yeah. Okay, so that's where we're with the bills. Bills are looking good. Okay, what else is here? We don't have any action items from previous meetings. So I'm gonna dive straight into Maria's ticket here that we've been speaking about for some time.
Sounds
Uh,
good. Yeah, the
Okay.
second more detailed link maybe have a more structured. Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so hi everyone. I am Media. I'm the Minikube maintainer. I've been maintaining Minikube since 2019, so it's been around 6 years. Um, but Minikube has existed before me too. So like Minikube is like around 7, 8 years old. And when we started Minikube, uh, at that time there was no such a thing that we could. There was no SIG infra that it would had give us resources that we could use. So for that reason, we have a 8-year-old K8s Minikube project, GCP project inside Google, which is we use it for release and test infrastructure of Minikube, and some of the we could never move to Pro because it didn't support nested virtualization, and uh, but now I think we have more uh, will to make sure this project is releasable and testable outside Google as well. So not somebody only inside Google could release this project. So for that reason, we want to migrate this 8-year-old infrastructure. We have our internal Jenkins as well. We do leverage GitHub Actions massively whenever it is possible to use it. So anyway, so to do that, I gathered some requirements. Some of the things that we need. We're asking for a GCP project that we could use it for a cloud run service and a cloud SQL, and that would be used for our GoPoke server, which is our Flake server. We run the test on head every few hours just to generate what are the current flakes on the head and to compare it with the PR's failures. We also have used like an app called Trash Party to help us with trash. Those use Cloud Run service and Cloud SQL. It doesn't cost much money. It's a very little server that's on the users, only just us. Another thing we need some sort of a bucket, either a GCS bucket or a S3 bucket that we could push our release artifacts. So the ISOs, the preload tarballs, and so on. We also need the same bucket for our PR. So whenever PR, let's say, changes something in our ISO or our base image, and a new ISO will be built and tested in the PR and merged back to the head so we can measure the flakiness of that artifact as well. If you want to learn more about those flake servers that we have, it's if you search for GoPoke, you'll see that what I'm talking about. Um, we also need large VMs. So these top things that I so far mentioned are just require a project that we could control pushing images or artifacts in there in the PR and stuff. But this large VM anywhere could be anywhere, doesn't need to be bound to a project. So we need uh, Linux VMs that support nested virtualization. That means you should be able to create a KVM VM inside that Linux VM. So if you could get any disposable compute only, just so we could use that, we can hook it up to whatever we just for our integration test. That's another thing. We need the ARM64 Linux VMs. Um, we also need macOS ARM64 VMs. I already sent a request in the Kubernetes org to enable the GitHub large runners. I don't know if Kate's SIG Infra could help us get that approved or not. Even if you could get a very limited, I don't know, $1,000 a month limitation, we really need that to test Minikube for macOS. We used to have a Google funded Mac Stadium, which is like a service that provides MacBooks for um, as a cloud. Um, so I don't know if SIG Infra could help us get that GitHub Action Runner large runners approved or not. We also need Windows VMs that support nested virtualization. Oh, sorry, my Google Home went off. Hey Google, stop. Sorry about that. I don't know why my Google started talking. Okay, we also Minikube is one of the biggest components of Minikube is the Minikube ISO, which is basically our own Linux distro that we've been maintaining past 8 years. We can call it just enough Linux just for Minikube. We wanted to simplify this process. We want to move those to its own repo so we could leverage the GitHub assets for those. So I created 2 requests to create a repo called Minikube OS and also a repo called Minikube preloads. If you're curious what is preloads, we use a mechanism to preload Kubernetes image version, Kubernetes images um, per Kubernetes version, per container runtime, per architecture, and per file system. And it's shared by both VM drivers and Docker driver and Podman. We should call them Kick, Kubernetes and container. So it's shared between VM and Kicks to make Minikube start extremely fast. So a Minikube VM could start in 17 seconds versus like 3 minutes to pull all of the images. So anyway, so we are hoping to also get repos under called Minikube Preload and Minikube OS. I don't know if SIG Infra could help us get those approved as well, but that would be helping us to migrate this giant Minikube infrastructure inside Google to fully owned by the community or accessible by the community. So these are some requests that I try to organize into bullet items.
Okay. All right. So I have a couple of answers for you immediately. So I'm going to highlight bits of this. So this one is an easy one I can answer. So we have access to AWS, so we can get you Mac VMs there.
Oh, wonderful. And can
that
you hook
one
them
is.
up to GitHub Action or something? Or like
I'm gonna get to the solution in a second.
okay.
But I'm gonna pick the solutions one at a time. So
Wonderful.
all right. So this one is an easy thing to fix. So we have access to AWS. All the Proud jobs have a way of accessing the AWS accounts that we have, and we can provision things in there for you. So that's that. This is an easy fix. The other VM, so Windows VM, Linux VMs for both x86 and ARM 64. Arno, go ahead.
Before Mohammed, you basically give promises to people. I think there should be a consensus between the tech leads.
Yeah, we'll discuss it as well, but I'm saying we have those things available and we can.
It's not because we have something available, we should provide it. Because there are specific hardware we don't want to provide for specific reasons. I think there should be some conversation between the tech leads about basically all those requests.
Okay, sounds good. Going back to non-Mac OS VMs, so these are standard VMs that are provisioned at runtime when we're running tests. Large chunks of Kubernetes CI provisions dynamic VMs, and they do things on there, and then they shut them down at the end of the test run. So that's also a pattern that we're familiar with. We'll point you to how we run that. With regards to this bit, the project has test grid and prow, which does a lot of this functionality, excluding triage party. So the ask there is for you to adopt that. Test grid. Have you seen test grid?
Yeah, but it doesn't have the functionalities that we hope for.
What particular functionalities are you after that's missing in test
So one
grid?
of them is like making HTML report of the like Minikube logs. Like every Minikube log, because we deal with hypervisor and the OS and the guest and the Kubernetes itself, it produces 1,000 lines of logs or postmortem logs. So and each integration test is around 300 or 400 subtests. So making an HTML version of the every report is very essential for maintaining the project, at least the way we have done that.
Okay, just let me pull up a test real quick. Well, this is one of our more popular Kubernetes CI tests. So this checks out the Kubernetes repo and runs a conformance test on it. This panel appears, it parses your JUnit and shows you the tests that passed and the tests that failed. All right, and it has all the
These
names.
are this test run against the main branch and the head, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the same thing in pull requests too, right? So you get a list of all the tests and whether they passed or failed. If you go back to this page earlier where I just clicked this link from, this is all the test runs, right? And we know the tests that failed. We also, more importantly, know which commit that it happened in. So yeah, like for example, this one failed. Its most recent commit was this one here. We click it, it'll take us there.
Yeah.
So the feature set that you're describing already exists. So this is the project's
This is a very
only
small feature set
solution.
of but yeah, it means some of it already exists. Yeah, very small feature of it exists. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our primary set of this is the primary tool we use to detect flakes. So we run all our jobs here. We do graph them, and then when you click the jobs,
Absolutely, I would love to use this, and if we can hook up like the Linux VMs that could run nested virtualization on them,
oh, we
we would
can.
absolutely we could, yeah.
So for example, if I go here, like I'll take you to the COPS repo. So COPS was probably the two projects that I think you should look at is the COPS project and Cluster API. Those projects run like a lot of CI, and it's quite close to Minikube. And they're what they're doing.
COPS
Go ahead.
and Cluster API. Okay.
COPS, Cluster API, and Image Builder. So they do all the things that you're trying to do. So the Image Builder builds ISOs, all right? They publish them. Cluster API does the same thing for Cluster API for GCP, AWS, Azure, like those are all core CI that we use. Have a talk to those maintainers and see what they're doing. But they all use, first of all, they use this. So if I go out here and I COPS, for example,
So maybe Jiamin could help me with like I would love to actually even if we can't run all of the tests on Prow, I would love to start just leveraging it to make a test grid for it so we could get our foot in the ocean a little bit.
I agree. So I'm going to walk you through this first. So what you see on your screen right now is COPS pre-submit. So these run on pull requests. If I click one of these, I'm going to go to COPS repo, it's pretty easy to do it that way. Okay, I go pull requests. So I'm going to click this one here because it's one of the COPS maintainers. So they run some of the build stuff using GitHub Actions, but they also run the main CI, the EDE stuff, which is what matters, all in Prow. So this is the Prow status checks. So all of these run on pre-submits. So they compile COPS, generate all the assets, stage them in a bucket temporarily, launch a COPS cluster on there in AWS or any GCP, and then they run the full test suite. And then when they're done, they shut everything down.
Yeah.
So
Is it possible like a project to produce like a HTML file?
Yes, you can. So
that is like stays on the PR and the maintainers could look at them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
definitely. So if I click artifacts, it'll take you to the artifacts bucket. So as long as you drop a HTML file in here, you can click it and it'll open in the browser quickly.
Does those things vanish after PR is merged or something?
They do, yes. Well, no. So the logs will persist for 90 days.
Okay, wonderful.
We keep all the CI logs for 90 days and then we stop.
So I mean, those artifacts. So I guess we could potentially push even ISOs there. Maybe it's like right.
No, not ISOs. No. I wouldn't put that there.
It has to be smaller.
This is just JSON files, YAML files, and log files, and there's nothing else in here.
Oh, and HTML, I assume.
Yeah. So they have the JUnit results and the logs. That's it. You don't store anything else in here.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going to get to our release artifacts in a second, but this is the approach that we take, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of magic parameters, variables that you can push files to, and the CI will take care of and pocket it for you. So you could, for example, this generate HTML that you're talking about that will give you the information you're looking for. You can put it here and you can click it, and then it will appear like a normal HTML page.
Wonderful.
So that's one way to do that, while also taking advantage of test grid and its ability to show you which tests failed and when that happened and all those features.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's that. This is the state of COPS. CAPI is the same. It's a bigger project with even more CI, but they do exactly the same approach. With regards to release artifacts, so what happens is, so if I go to the COPS repo for a second, something my way. I go all the way down here. Watch what happens when they merge things, right? When they merge repos, they run, you see this post submit push to staging. So they publish the latest version of the COPS binaries in a bucket that we purge its contents after a certain amount of time. So when they want to release to production, they have to store their assets in specific production registries that we have. And they also release all their blobs here. So all the COPS CLI binaries and all the VM binaries, they're all here.
Can you the staging one? I didn't quite understand. Can you go back to that
Okay,
one
I'll
again?
explain what I'm talking about. So let me just go here for a second. I'm going to open the Kubernetes production registry. So it's registry.case.io. All right. This is a UI is on built, so you can look at the images in there. Right. Look for COPS. You go here. These are the COPS production images, right? These are the images that Docker images that run as part of the COPS product. So COPS is made up of binaries and images, right? Some of their stuff they serve them as images. Others are binaries that we download. We have a designated location for publishing files for end user download. We sell them from a CDN, and we'll tell you what that is at a later stage. But for example, this is an image that they built. So if you look at COPS 133, for example, they published the image. So when I said staging, so we have a process for publishing images to this registry. So what you have to do is when your PR is ready, you merge it, and then you run a specific CI job that will publish images to what we call a staging image registry. The images will be published there. They stay there for about a month to 2 months at most, at which point you need to promote whatever it is you're looking to release to the internet, right? So for example, when they build like this release was done 4 days ago, right? So the day that this release was cut, they had the V133 images ready. So they go to the case.io repo and they say, hey, we're looking to promote these images. So they update a manifest file which copies the images and signs them and promotes them.
So during
And
the
now
time that they release it on GitHub until they get approved from case.
no, it's not approved from us. You do the promotions yourself. You don't need approval from us.
Oh, okay.
So it's self-service.
Can you point me to documentation? So I'm thinking actually to use the registry case.io for one of our less updated images. Like for example, we have a Prow image, we have some Xego image. Those images are not like the every release. If you like point us like, okay, we want to
walk me
publish
through the Minikube assets. All right. So when you release Minikube, you release ISOs, I presume.
ISO base images, preload
CLI.
tarballs. Preload tarballs are a big one that we released to the GCS bucket. So this is not, you
We
won't
also
see
have
the
images, right? Because I looked in here and I saw images.
we have Docker images, and we also have some special add-ons like gvisor that we maintain ourselves.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying, right? So if I put this in here, I'm pretty sure I'll find some images here.
Yeah, for sure. We have kick-based image.
Yeah, so these are images that you have to publish in our registries, right? You can't serve them from here. Not in the future.
So that's the goal. So for that, so right now you see that it's called kick-based builds because we have not released it. So each time a PR changes the image, we merge it back into the to the master head and with the name kick-based builds. And then once we release it, we just push it to a different bucket called kick-based with no builds, and that would be the released image.
Yeah, we can work out the details, but the point I'm trying to get at is you can't serve this to customers because that's not owned by the Kubernetes project. If for some reason you leave Google or someone else does, or Google gets funding,
that's the
you're in
whole
trouble.
actually reason I am reaching out here is
Perfect.
that's the whole reason I am doing all of these things. We want to
I
move.
agree. I agree. So
Yeah.
the intention is, you see all these Docker images, they all need to be served out of registry K8s.io/minikube/ the image, right?
Yeah,
And I will walk you
I
through
agree,
how
and
to do
and,
that.
and I so can you print us, like, maybe in me and jamming, just give us a document. You want to start with one of our easier to migrate images, like something that's not fully in production, like just
Oh, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So the registry is write only. You can never pull a tag back. So make sure the only thing you're publishing is stuff that's production ready.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for example, we have a prow image. We have a small prow job. We don't really use it for extensive, just like a minikube start and nothing else. We want to actually move that to case registry itself, not
Oh, okay.
so that would be maybe our starting point. So then once we learn this process, we will feel, okay, what can we else move there, and then come back maybe again in another office hour and then see what is the gap that
Yeah,
we.
exactly. Sounds good. We'll get back to you on this Mac thing. The others are relatively straightforward asks. We'll point you to prior examples of how the rest of the project is.
So right now I can start a job with a Linux with a nested virtualization in prow.
Yeah, you can. You can create a proud job that acquires a GCP project and launches a VM, does something
Can
in the
I
VM,
specify
shuts down.
what VM type I can choose from?
The normal E2 VM types are available.
Okay. Do you mind, like, so I mean, I don't know, can you give me those links to follow? So me and Jamming will try to prototype something, and then hopefully the next not office hours will come back and then see, okay, this is the progress
I
we
can
made.
point you to an example. So I'm gonna open a job that does this. Where is my node E2E? Oh, here we go. So this is an E2E job for Kubernetes nodes. So what happens is, I'm actually going to click it so you can see it for yourself. Click here. What does it do? There we go. So there's a Go program in the main Kubernetes repo that launches a VM, right? The SSHN. The launcher VM dynamically could generate SSH keys, connect to the VM, run a test suite, and then at the end of the test suite, grab the logs and the results, and then shut the VM down.
And I see some credentials. Is there a mechanism to give credentials as well?
What credentials?
So I am thinking maybe we
No,
will.
these are automatically available in the cluster configuration. You don't have to supply
Okay,
them.
so just okay. But if we wanted to add our own secrets, could we do that too?
Yes. What kind of secrets are we talking about?
So I am thinking, so if we can't get a way to run a GoPoke server, we do have an AWS account that was given to us by CNCF. We could run a small GoPoke server there and then have the jobs report their flakes.
No. We're not doing that. We don't want to do that. I want you to adopt CI the way the other projects do. So
Yeah, because
ideally we want to get rid of this thing. These things we want to get rid of.
well, GoPoke server is very, very helpful for us. The feature gap between this and test grid is a lot. So it won't be able to.
All right,
We won't be
Arnaud, go
able to
ahead.
maintain the project without the GoPoke reports.
All right, go ahead.
I think for third party, we already host instance of third party in a shared cluster, so I'm not really worried about that. We could give a namespace where they could run that, but for the GoPoke server, I think you could try to build it at runtime or during the day instead of basically have something consistent.
Sorry, can you repeat? I missed the last part you said.
For the GoPoke server, can you
Mhm.
trying to basically having run on each test and basically report and push the report to the pro artifacts?
So the GoPoke server, there are two components. One of them is like a client, and one of them is client one. We don't need a server; it just generates an HTML report. I can give you a tour of it if you want. If you go to Media GH, can I share my screen too?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me adjust the permissions so you can share.
I'll.
it would be helpful to see your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make you co-host so you can actually just be careful that we're recording this. So
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay. All right. Share my window. All right. Hopefully you're seeing my screen now. Do you guys see it now?
We can see it, yeah.
Okay, so this is a Minikube website. We publish every environment, for example, Docker with Linux, Docker with Cryo, KVM with Linux, and each environment has its own flake rate. So this is a GoPoke server, so we can see every job. It's okay. This test has like a flake rate of 3%, and then this is like a chart. I think, and we can get similar value in grid. This is the God view of all of environments. So if I go to the Docker Linux, and if I go to like specific test, let's say this test, I can see this test started flaking at this commit, and I can look, if I click on this dot, I can see which commit it started, and then we also see the duration of the test as well. So for example, in July, this specific test duration spiked up because something happened to this test. Anyway, this is like the normal things, but let's go look at the actual GoPoke report. If we go to, let's say, if we go to a better example, let's say Cryo. Okay, if we go to, okay, this is an example of a GoPoke HTML report. So the Minikube logs are very verbose, and we need those much because we deal with hypervisor, Kubernetes itself, and the host. So if I want to see only the log for this guy, I can like fold them. I could open this log. So each test log is separated in its own HTML. It's super helpful for us to maintain Minikube. We can sort them. We can, anyway, so we are so used to this tool. It has been a core part of our readability and velocity for the maintainers. We cannot live without this. It's very hard.
Oh, I agree, and I'm saying, see, is this HTML entirely generated using the client?
Yeah. We can.
Fine,
Yeah,
okay,
the HTML
perfect.
can be in the artifacts. That's good. When I saw the artifact, I became so happy because we can push that to the pro artifacts. That's good. The flake part of it is gonna be
The flake part, we use test grid for that purpose. So we put all the tests in the grid, and then you see all the red X's on there when they fail.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not quite the same view, but it
So
has
if we
most
could,
of what you're looking
let's
for.
say, I mean, it's like a very tiny Go server, you know what I mean, that doesn't cost more than a few, maybe a few tens of dollars to run a month. And all we need is just pushing the JSON data into that GoBox server that collects them and get a God view for us to do that. Anyway, so or maybe one day we could even integrate GoPoke server for all of the Kubernetes projects, so everybody could take advantage of it. Then we will be able to use that too.
Arno, go ahead.
There was a link post in the Zoom chat about case triage. I think basically it's similar to what I saw on screen. So I'm wondering if we can like push that data and have case triage expose that, because I feel like because we use case triage to basically track flakes in most of the pro job we have. So I'm wondering if you can explore that option.
Do you mind dropping the links of the things that you mentioned? I'll take a look
It's
at
in the Zoom chat. Check in the Zoom chat, you said.
Oh, okay.
And I think Mohammed, you're free to basically share that on screen so everyone has an idea about what we're talking about.
Okay, let me do that now. All right, so in addition to test grid, what we also do is we have this guy here. So this is a HTML app, and we generate this file. We do some analysis on the data, and we generate this daily. And we're able to look for specific tests on the various SIGs, and we're able to see how it's changed over a period of time.
Okay, this This is cool. Yeah. And this is like a specific test case or like a whole environment of the test?
It's both by test cases and also by entire job. So you can look for a specific job. All right, look for this job, for example, and see when it failed. And then this was the airline that failed. And they failed one hit last week, and for another one the week before.
And this is called Case Triage, huh? This app.
Yeah.
I see.
So Minikube can take advantage of this. Actually, all you need to do is start running your jobs using Prow, and this will get populated.
This is only for like Go test or like it's all kind of tests?
All tests.
Interesting. I wonder how does it identify each subtest?
I believe it does.
Because to make GoPog work, I mean, you convert the test to JSON using Go tool test to JSON, and then convert that to HTML, and
That's why basically you have two options here. If there's like it's not really possible to deploy Go your tooling, you could leverage K8s triage to identify the flakes and also push your dashboard in pro artifact per test. And we can later try to figure out how basically what are the limitations of what we're proposing you. So I think a goal star would be to look at the K8s triage and see
the
if we can
dashboard
push
one. The dashboard is different than the thing that you meant, the GoPog HTML report. That's different. The dashboard would be a server, and we could not deploy that to the artifacts.
But you can. So the dashboard is a HTML page, right?
And it's a no. So that there's two dashboards. I guess maybe you meant the HTML report that shows the test logs. That's a HTML report static. That could be put in the artifacts. But the server component, it connects to a Cloud SQL instance that has all of the test data of all of the times with their test durations, commits, and all of that, and then generates when a test started to flake. And we really use that every week. Like each week, some test fails. With the amount of tests we have, the amount of diverse, we have a very diverse, the most diverse platform. We support many drivers, and we support cry dockerd, containerd, and cryo as runtimes, and also we support bare metal and dozens of drivers. So it's like impossible for us without a robust flake detector, as we already do. So I hoping. So I mean, this is going to be a many months effort to migrate Minikube completely to a CNCF owned project. I'm hoping by that time we identify the gaps, and maybe even make that gap available for all of the K8s users. Maybe other projects could leverage something like GoPog, so we could also.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
I think
let's do the following. I have a way forward. Okay. So we can revisit this later.
Yeah.
The action item now is Arno, go ahead.
Oh, just want to basically add something after we finish.
Okay. For now, what I would like to do, especially in August, is let's write a set of new Prow jobs that do the various bits that you have in ECI, right? We'll start from there. Let's see how we can deliver this. Adopting this tooling itself will be a while because we need to walk you through a lot of things. So ideally, within a week, I would love to see a full Minikube end-to-end test running in Prow, right? Well, at least one combination, and then we can figure out the other combinations. I would love to have the pipelines that build the images and have candidates ready for promotion in the near future. Well, I want to get those bits going first because those are like some of the more easier things to resolve. And then once we've done that, while you're doing that, you, for example, will be able to use the triage part here, the K8s triage tooling here, evaluate that, see how that goes. If it's missing things, we could have a conversation about maybe hosting this if we feel like it's really necessary, and we can't find a good alternative. But I'd love to have that conversation after we have like a fair bit of Proud Jobs up and running, the image promotion, the images are figured out,
Yeah.
figured out how to store the ISOs temporarily. We have an approach for that too. But yeah,
For those reports that we requested to be created.
okay, so this is it's not our SIG, so
Yeah, okay.
GitHub management deals with that. But one thing I'll mention is you might struggle getting a repository within Kubernetes org. You might have to get a
Yeah, I'm okay with
repository
having it in
Kubernetes
Kubernetes
6.
SIG or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
We already had like a Minikube GUI in Kubernetes 6.
Oh,
a couple
perfect.
of-
So, so the team you need to ask is GitHub management that they'll approve this.
Cool. I want to see if Jiaming has any questions, because Jiaming would be helping me to doing a lot of these prototypes. So Jiaming, do you have any questions that we should ask here?
Arno, go ahead.
Yeah, can we basically have like GitHub issue for all of this so we can break down and have a way to track down this A4 because there's like multiple things we're talking about. One issue might be we could basically have like sub issue tied to this so we track down what's happening.
Yeah,
And we might
actually,
have
the
people
issue
willing
that
to.
yeah, the issue that I linked is already is a parent project, but I mean, in case in your side you want to have like a parent project as well, a parent issue as well.
No,
Yeah,
I
we
want
can.
an issue by subject we talk about, like basically release artifact, CI, hosting, Twitch party. If it's possible to have to break down those problems per issue, so we have people maybe willing to volunteer to help with this because it's gonna be a lot of things. Yeah, exactly. What Ahmed is listing, I feel like every line should be a GitHub issue we can track down and say we consider that it is complete, what's blocking, what's happening. Is that good for you?
Yeah, I mean, we could start like from somewhere and get our foot in the door, and then figure out the gap and then come back and see what we could do for the next.
Okay.
So I guess like maybe the first thing we could start with is having a full integration of Minikube with a nested virtualization, let's say KVM test on Prow, and then after that add more drivers to it. And this macOS thing you said that could be hooked up either to GitHub Action or Prow, or only Prow.
Oh, we'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
I have an idea, but I need to talk to somebody.
Okay.
That's why I see question marks.
I want to see if Jiaming has any questions for you guys, because he would be helping with a lot of the implementation. Oh, I think Jiaming dropped. I don't see him in the call anymore. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so I'll ping you guys or to get started on a new project. I'll take a look at the COPS project to see what is their project look like and try to replicate that and
Yeah, COPS is probably the best example.
Okay.
I would say look at that project very closely. They have this concept of a grid where they test like 2 cloud providers plus like 3 different OSs plus 5 or 6 CNI combinations. So they end up with like hundreds of jobs running a matrix.
Cool.
And it's a pretty solid matrix. So let me show you how big the matrix is. I go COPS here and I click COPS. Yeah, there we go, COPS grid here.
Yeah, and the pre-submits you said are basically the artifacts that are in staging area before they be approved to be promoted.
Not quite, not quite. So when you merge a PR on master, on the main branch, I should say, you can run special proud jobs that will publish images that are ready for promotion. Or in the case of COPS and small select projects, we'll also publish blobs to Google Cloud Storage that are in a bucket that deletes artifacts after 60 days to test things or whatever, right? And then we have after the artifacts are published, whether it's images or blobs, we have a process for copying those to production CDNs and production image registry.
All right.
So it's going to do with pull requests. And pull requests, by the way, pull requests are completely untrusted in Prow. We have them running on a separate cluster. Those jobs cannot interact with anything that's in the promotion path to production.
Yeah, and then to do an example of, we want to let's say publish our first image to the case registry. What example should we follow?
So first thing you have to do is on merge to minikube, you need to build images. We have a template for how to do it. Everybody follows the same process. We use Google Cloud Build to build the image. So in your repo, you have a Cloud Build YAML that does whatever it wants. It's not really part of the Infra team. We will give you a special Proud job that runs on merge, and then it will invoke this build file and whatever you committed, and then it will build that and it will put it in a staging registry. The Cloud YAML is up to you. Whatever Cloud Build YAML is up to you. You can put whatever you want in there. Like I'll give you a good example. This is a project you have to work with. Arno, go ahead. Arno?
You're muted.
Can't hear you if you're talking.
Sorry, mic issue. We have 7 minutes left, so I feel like we should move on because there's
I will. Okay,
wanted to
I'll make it real quick. So on merge, basically, if this is a project that you use, probably helpful for you. But basically, they have a cloud build file here that they invoke. It's my knack, hopefully. Yep. So they invoke this file, and then it does whatever they want them to do, and then it publishes the release the candidates for releases. Okay.
So basically, I put that YAML in my repo is gonna start doing that as well, right?
Yeah, so that's what we want you to do. So we'll show you prior examples and how to do things, and point you to docs, and we should have something ready. We have 6 minutes, and I need to talk about the next item.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, for.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right, let me pull up the issue. All right, so the observability stack. Elisa, yeah. Okay, so here's what's going on here. So a little bit backstory. We used to run monitoring.proud.case.io. It only monitored the GCP cluster. Now we have a build cluster in AWS that we need to monitor and potentially other places. We have 5 or 6. So we need to rebuild our monitoring stack, adopt certain approach. I POC'd something. It worked, but it had a fair bit of operational work, which I didn't quite like. We're exploring 2 alternatives. One is to complete this open source POC that I built out in pull request 7377, which is a unified Grafana instance that stores metrics from all the other clusters, and we re-implement dashboards that Mark wrote last year. The other approach we're taking is Datadog were kind enough to it gave us access to open source programs, so we have access to a production Datadog instance. We're using that primarily for cost purposes, but since the agents are installed and they already collecting metrics, I think we should probably use that too. So the integration for Datadog is already complete. We just need to draw the dashboards and we're done. I think that's the approach I would like to take, but it's not final. We need to have a meeting and figure out what to do. Elisa, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I don't have anything else new from what I tried in the ticket. I'm like very comfortable with both stacks. I think that having like the open source solution will be like a best scenario to find maintainers in the future. But also like I mean, I think it will make sense to complete like both ladders since they are like halfway deployed. But I'll definitely defer to you guys that are like the team leads on where to go. So I'm what I would like to know, it's like the path to follow, and in that way I can like start helping you guys.
Okay, Arno, go ahead.
I think my question is like, why not have both? Because ultimately we present some information with different UI tool, but we basically gather the same data. So why not provide both solution to the maintainer?
We can, but remember, the Prometheus Grafana solution requires a substantial engineering time, which does not exist with Datadog. Datadog, you deploy agents and you're done. You're done. That's it.
But that's basically
All we're spending time is to join up dashboards in Datadog, basically. We don't need to do anything else.
but we had that engineering effort before.
We
used to
did,
have
yes,
yeah.
we did, but it's not quite complete. So it was an engineering effort to present data from one cluster. To do multi-cluster monitoring, you need extra stuff that I deployed, and we need to extend that out. Once it's up and running, it's not a one-off maintenance, right? We need to consistently keep patching it, keep it updated. So it will require effort. It's not zero. I'm in favor of doing both, and then we revisit several months later and see what's working out well and what's not working out well.
Because I think if Elisa is willing to champion that effort, we should like try to empower him to basically make it happen. If we like is like happy to do the OSS solution and see what's happening in 3 months. Happy to help about
I like
that
that idea.
also. Yeah.
I can give you the direction for the open source solution. It was partially done. I can show you what you need to finish it off.
Yeah,
And
I'm totally happy like pushing this forward. So if you have like any opinions, I can take that into considerations. If not, I'll also like building from what we have. And I think we need to sort how I don't know, track is not the word, but how do we apply things? Because I think that we have applied and have some changes that are not in the infra, but it will be a nice thing to fix.
I agree.
Okay. Can we basically do things like start from scratch in the sense like we leave Elisa pick the cloud provider or how you want to deploy the solution and basically see what's happening. We don't want to replace what existing right now. We basically want to build something from scratch with someone new to the SIG and willing to drive the sub project. And we start from scratch and we're trying to basically document what's happening, what are the blocker, or what are the basically unknown things we will try to figure out over time.
Okay.
Because
hold on a second though.
Yeah.
We're not going to start entirely from zero. We have a ton of stuff committed to this repo already that you need to think of it, right? We have a couple of Lego pieces that are kind of parts. So you need to put it together, add a couple of things that are missing, and present the final solution.
Yeah, but the start from scratch meaning we consider what currently exists.
Okay.
In this,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
what I'm
sit down with
saying. I want
Elisa
to
and we'll figure it out. Yeah.
I want to basically have Elisa come up with a way to basically do this. And we basically comment on what's not possible, what are the implications of what he's proposing, what are the constraints, so we can empower him to make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have like a good idea of what we have at the moment, which is all the things that Mohamed had deployed. I can start from there, like grab that, I don't know, maybe in a document and propose like a path to follow from there. But I understand, like, from scratch, it's will be like taking that into consideration and see what's the best path to move forward.
Yeah, because I feel like if you basically say, for example, you want to run a dedicated monitoring stack on a dedicated AWS account, that's a way to start. Like, for example, if you feel like, for example, you want to choose AWS as where we want to host the data, we can start like that, or tell us, oh, we don't want to pay AWS for whatever reason we have.
Yeah. Yeah, but I also think it's like smart using like what we already have, since
Yeah.
we already work at some path. So yeah, cool.
Okay, that's all for me.
I don't have anything else to add to that. We'll leave it with you. Figure out something. Bring with us. Hopefully, bring a design to the next meeting. We'll give our thoughts on it, and then you can implement it. And then we'll show you how to wire up the other clusters to it.
Sounds good. That sounds good. Thank you.
Can I ask one last question?
Go ahead.
Is there, I mean, is there a way to log into Docker to avoid the Docker rate limit? Because a lot of our tests downloads a bunch of other Docker images, or no?
Yes, there is a way to do it. So if you are running inside Prow, we use the Google mirrors to do it.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, that's how we do it. So
I'll figure out later how to do that.
we prefix it with the gcr.io. I can't remember the exact name, but there's a prefix you apply, and then you'll use the Google's Google
Yeah, we
Mirror.
just mirror. Yeah, Minikube actually supports mirror. That's nice. Cool. I will have GMing to start working with a KVM test and Prow, and then we'll take it from there. And then thank you very much for this.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, I'm going to end the meeting for everybody. Thank you so much for attending.